32, the New Jerusalem, Revelation 21 verse 1 to 27, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth. This is the earth of the future, after the great cataclysm, for the first heaven and the first earth, this present one, were passed away, and there was no more sea. And 1 John saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, the earth of the future sixth root race, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband, the Christ. And I heard a great voice out of heaven, saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and this eternal God himself shall be with them, and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne, the eternal God, said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, It is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. Certainly, he is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end of all things. The human being has body, soul, and the intimate. Beyond the intimate, every human being has three profundities. The first one is the origin of life, the second is the origin of the word, and the third is the origin of the sexual force. These three divine profundities of each human being constitute the resplendent dragon of wisdom. These three are the eternal God and the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. He is the eternal Christ whom human beings need to incarnate within. Whosoever is athirst, he will give unto them from the fountain of the water of life freely. Whosoever knows how to drink from these pure living waters is a glorified one, because he will never, ever be thirsty again. See John 4:14. This key is found in the Arcanum AZF. The fire, I equals ignis, must fecundate the water, A equals aqua, water, in order for the spirit, O equals origo, principle, spirit, to be born. Thus, this is why the Master Huiracocha has spoken extensively about the IAO in his book entitled Logos Mantra Magic, as well as in his Rosicross novel. The mantra IAO must be vocalized letter by letter. Each letter must be independently vocalized by prolonging its sound after a deep inhalation. All of these vowels are vocalized in succession and in the precise instant of being sexually connected with our spouse, that is to say, our priest or priestess spouse. Thus, this is how the sacred serpent awakens. He that overcometh the sexual passion shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, I will incarnate myself within him, and he shall be my son, because he is a Christified one, but the fearful, the tenebrous, cowards, unbelievers, and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars, shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. This lake which burns with fire and brimstone is the lake of carnal passion. This lake is related with the lower animal depths of the human being, and its atomic region is the abyss. The tenebrous slowly disintegrate themselves within the abyss until they die. This is the second death. And there came unto me one of the 7 angels which have the 7 vials full of the 7 last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will shew thee the bride, the Lamb's wife. The human being can travel to any place in the world or in the infernos with his astral body. The key in order to consciously travel with the astral body is the following: laying down on his bed, face up, the disciple must fall asleep while vocalizing the syllables LARA. The student will independently vocalize each syllable, that is to say, each syllable with a separate breath, as follows: The vocalization of these 2 sacred syllables must be done mentally. These 2 syllables have the power of making the sexual energy intensely vibrate. Thus, the disciple must fall asleep while vocalizing with tranquility in his bed. Thus, this is how the sexual energies, the creative energies of the third logos begin to vibrate when the student vocalizes these two syllables. These type of energies produce a sweet and subtle sound when they are intensely vibrating. This sound is similar to that of the cricket. The student must learn how to handle this sound, as this is the subtle voice which grants us the power to consciously travel with our astral body. The student must arise from his bed in those precise instants in which he hears this mystical sound and direct himself to any place in the world. This is not a matter of performing it mentally. What we are teaching here must be performed in a factual action. The disciple with his astral body is actually detaching himself from the physical body. He then penetrates into the superior worlds in order to study the great mysteries of life and death. Whosoever wants to learn how to sing these two sacred syllables should listen to Mozart's Magic Flute. The Magic Flute is an opera which is related with an initiation that Mozart received in Egypt. Thus, this is how John the Prophet was taken from his physical body and while being in the spirit was carried away in order to see the heavenly Jerusalem. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and shew me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God, having the glory of God, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. This most precious stone, which is even like a jasper stone, is the sexual organs of the Christified ones. So, this stone is clear as crystal. Let us remember the vitriol, a liquid, flexible and malleable crystal. This crystal is the Christonic semen. Vitriol means, visitum interiori terra rectifictor in veniam occultum lapidum. Visit the interior of the earth which by rectifying you will find the occult stone. The occult stone is the philosophical stone. Therefore, to search within our philosophical earth is necessary, because by rectifying we will find this most precious stone, which is like a jasper stone and clear as crystal. In migio membri virili in vagina femini sine ejaculatum seminis. The sage Huiracocha said, try to endure the described position for 1 hour and a comfortable ineffable sensation will be felt. Chest against chest, the two solar plexus in immediate contact, as well as all the astral centers placed together. This will permit an interchange of current in order to establish one just androgynism. Every initiate builds his own Jerusalem upon the living stone. This living stone is the sex. The Jerusalem of the human being exists as well as the Jerusalem from above and the Jerusalem from below. Sicut superius, sicut quot inferius. The superior worlds are the Jerusalem from above. The earth of the future sixth root race is the Jerusalem from below. The human Jerusalem is the human being with all of his Christified vehicles. The new Jerusalem gloriously shines. And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, the 12 zodiacal gates in the universe and in the human being, and at the gates 12 zodiacal angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, which are the 12 fundamental tribes in which this humanity is divided into in accordance with the 12 zodiacal signs. As above so below, the human being has 12 faculties which are governed by 12 atomic angels. The 12 zodiacal signs exist within the starry space and within the human being. It is necessary to transmute the sexual energy and make it pass through the 12 zodiacal gates of the human organism. Thus, this is how the prophet continues speaking about the 12 zodiacal gates, on the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, on the south 3 gates, and on the west 3 gates. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the name of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. These are the 12 zodiacal signs and the 12 energetic spheres which penetrate and co-penetrate without being confused. Any solar humanity is completely self-realized within the 12 planes. Therefore, the 12th arcanum is the foundation of the heavenly Jerusalem. This 12th arcanum is the symbol of sexual alchemy. The 12th arcanum appears in the tarot as follows. The 12th arcanum represents a human being with his hands bound behind him and suspended by one foot. His tied hands on his head force him to form a triangle with his arms, with the vertex pointing downwards, and with his legs he forms a cross which is above the triangle. The gibbet is formed by the trunks of 2 trees, each with the stumps of 6 lopped branches, and by a cross piece, thus completing the figure of the Hebrew Tau. Behold here the sacrifice and the performed work. This is what is called sexual alchemy. Millions of books of yoga, occultism, theosophy, Rosicrucianism, etc. exist, as well as thousands of schools, some of them with very ancient and very venerable traditions. Any student can submit himself to the most rigorous disciplines, practicing with the Kriya, visiting thousands of these schools, centers, lodges, acquiring titles, degrees, and even receiving from their instructors very beautiful and distinctive names. But if the student does not practice sexual magic, he will remain very venerable, learned, and even an erudite, but only for his people. Above in the superior worlds he will remain just like an aficionado to these spiritual studies. He will be nothing but an ignorant disciple, a poor mystical shadow, profane, or even worse. He will be a very dangerous subject. Therefore, to work with the gold and the silver, to work with the moon and the sun is necessary in order to edify the heavenly Jerusalem within each human being. The gold and the silver, the sun and the moon are the sexual forces of man and woman. The alchemist woman should never reach the physiological spasm either. Thus, this is how she will transmute her sexual energies and can awaken her serpent. The highest degree that women can reach in this study is the degree of virgin. The sexual alchemy is an hermetic art. The hermetic art is highly scientific, highly philosophical, and highly mystical. The whole science and philosophy of the great work is found enclosed within the 12th arcanum. The secret living and philosophical fire is hidden within the Christonic semen. The sexual alchemical mysticism is the mysticism of all the ancient initiates. The philosophy of sexual alchemy has its principles in the school of the Essenians, in the school of Alexandria, in the teachings of Pythagoras, in the mysteries of Egypt, Troy, Rome, Carthage, Eleusis, as well as in the wisdom of the Aztecs and Mayas, etc. The procedures of the science of sexual alchemy must be studied in the books of Paracelsus, Nicholas Flamel, Raymond Lully. We also find these procedures hidden within the veil of all symbols, in all the hieratic figures of ancient hieroglyphics of many ancient temples, as well as in the Greek and Egyptian myths. To you that are searching for the initiation, to you that read a lot, to you who hops from school to school, always searching, always hoping, always sighing, tell me with sincerity, have you awakened your kundalini? Have you opened the 7 churches of your spinal medulla? Have you incarnated the Lamb? You who are searching, tell me, can you dominate earthquakes? Can you walk upon the water? Can you calm the tempest? Can you utter the golden language? Can you see in the superior worlds, and are you capable of studying the whole history of the earth and of its races within the sealed records of nature? Answer me, beloved reader, be sincere with yourself, place your hand on your heart and answer me with sincerity. Have you self-realized yourself? Are you sure that with your theories you will become a god? What did you achieve? What have you attained with your theories? The poor servant who writes this book is an initiate of the Lemurian, Egyptian, Tibetan, etc. mysteries, and never knew in the history of the centuries one authentic master who could Christify himself without practicing sexual magic. Therefore, if you have hope of liberating yourself or reaching self-realization or Christification without practicing sexual magic, Then you are worthy of pity, you are worthy of compassion, you are an imbecile. To transmute the lead of personality into the very pure gold of the spirit is necessary. In order to prepare the philosophical mercury, semen, the salt, matter, and the sulfur, fire, are urgent. This mercury must be transmuted and sublimated to the heart. Christ is within the heart. It is in the heart where the forces which descend from above are mixed with those that arise from below. Thus, this is how that which is from below must be mixed with that which is from above in order for that which is from below to arise into the superior worlds of the great light. This is how we achieve the union of the cross with the triangle. The cross, human being, must be united with the triangle, spirit, by means of the potable gold, sacred fire of sex. These are the 12 foundations of the heavenly Jerusalem. The human being who is formed within the maternal womb is the result of a sexual act, and certainly not the result of any theory, nor of any school. The human being is always the child of a male and a female. In that conception there were kisses, there was also love, there was a male and a female, and also there was a coitus in order to fertilize the egg, and finally the mother begot the child. Why are you forgetting this? Tell me, with which theory were you engendered? Why now do you want to be born as a master of the great day within the worlds of the light by excluding the phallus and the uterus? What is natural, beloved reader. Do not commit the error of wanting to be born of theories. Nobody can be born through the feet, neither can one eat with the knees. Everything must be in its own place. Everything works as it should. What is natural is natural. The birth of the Son of Man is 100% sexual. If in spite of everything that is said you still have hope of achieving the initiation with the famous bellows system which is based exclusively on respiratory exercises, then time and years will prove to you that you were mistaken and you will inevitably tumble into the abyss. The bellows system, asanas, kriyas, etc. are magnificent and marvelous exercises. We cannot disregard them. They help, they are worthy for the awakening of the chakras and the cleaning of the nervous canals, etc. But if the yogi does not practice sexual magic, he will sink into the abyss even when he is a fanatic of the bellows system. And he that talked with me had a golden reed to measure the city, and the gates thereof and the wall thereof. This golden reed is the dorsal spine of the human being. The spinal fires ascend along the medullary canal. The development, ascension, and evolution of the kundalini is very difficult. Each one of the 33 spinal vertebrae corresponds to the 33 sacred chambers of the temple. The spinal fires are controlled by the fires of the heart. Thus this is how the kundalini ascends, very slowly, based on sexual magic and sanctification. Each vertebrae has its virtues and its ordeals. To achieve the ascension to any vertebra without the permission of the cardiacal fires is impossible. Therefore, the ascension of the kundalini is controlled by the merits of our heart. The guru who has not received the reed is not a true guru. Every initiate that rises the serpent upon the staff receives the reed. This is how the city and the gates thereof and the wall thereof must be measured with the reed. The Jerusalem of every human being must be measured with the reed. Therefore the master that still has not awakened the kundalini is a false prophet. 3 vestibules exist: first the vestibule of ignorance, second the vestibule of study, third the vestibule of wisdom. The human multitudes live within the first vestibule. All theories, schools, lodges, orders, etc. are within the second vestibule. The third vestibule is that of wisdom. The Master and the internal God who guide us towards the great light are found in this vestibule. When we enter into the second vestibule, we are searching. We study astrology, yoga, theosophy, etc. We visit different schools, hopping from flower to flower. Each flower is a sect, theory, school, lodge, etc. Thus, This is how many people pass through many reincarnations, searching, hopping, reading here and there and everywhere. When the student is tired of sighing and finally wants to know, this is when he enters through the straight, narrow, and difficult gate. This gate is sex. This is when we really enter into the third vestibule, the vestibule of wisdom. We find the internal God and the Guru who lead us to the great reality within this vestibule. We need to edify the heavenly Jerusalem upon the living stone. And the city lieth 4 square, and the length is as large as the breadth, and he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs. The length and the breadth and the height of it are equal. We have reached the square of the circle and the perpetual movement. The city is situated and placed in a square. This reminds us of the holy and mysterious Tetragrammaton, the Holy Four. If we profoundly explore the interior of our divine being, then we find 3 profundities. These 3 profundities emerge from a mathematical point. It is urgent to know that this point is a super-divine atom from the abstract absolute space. The Kabbalistic name of this atom is the Am Sophomore. The 3 Christic profundities that we carry within emerge from the Am Sophomore. This is the ternary emerging from this mathematical point. 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. 3 plus 1 equals 4. Behold here the holy Tetragrammaton, the dragon of wisdom, the internal Christ, which emanated from the Mn Soph and which will return into the Ein Sophomore. This is why the city is shaped in a square, because it is the perfect temple of the Lamb. And he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs. The number 12,000 is Kabbalistically broken down as follows: 12,000 is equal to 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. Behold here the ternary, which is the Lamb who emerged from the super-divine atom. The adorable one shines within the internal vehicles of every one who has Christified himself. This is love. To edify the New Jerusalem without the Holy Four is impossible. The name of the Eternal One has 4 Hebrew letters, Iod, He, Vau, He. These are the 4 winds. Certainly, there are few people who really know the right way in which to pronounce this name. Whosoever wants to edify the New Jerusalem must first awaken the sacred fire of Kundalini. This Pentecostal serpent is Inri, Azoth. The sun is its father, the moon its mother, the wind carries it in its belly, and the philosophical earth is its nurse. The alchemist who wants to edify the New Jerusalem must work in his laboratory with the sulfur, fire, the azoth, air, the mercury, water, and the earth. The great work is symbolized by the lion, fire, the eagle, air, the man, water, and the bull, earth. These 4 elements form the cross of initiation. You must know that the cross of initiation is received in the heart temple. We must work with the elementals of fire, elementals of air, of the water and of the earth while in the sacred mountain. This sacred mountain could either be the Himalayas or the Alps or of the Andes. These mountains always symbolize the spinal medulla with its 33 vertebrae. We must be alchemists while in the sacred mountain. Thus, this is how we can receive the initiation in the heart temple. We need to transmute lead into gold in order to edify the New Jerusalem. The salamanders light the fire and they fecundate the undines of the water in order for life to be born. The gnomes and pygmies which dwell within the great mountain transmute the lead into gold. The happy and playful sylphs vivify the fire in order for the great work to be performed. The receptacle must be hermetically closed in order to impede, at any cost, the spilling of the raw matter. This is how the lead of personality is transmuted into the living gold of the spirit. The receptacle must be animated by the fire of the salamanders, bake and rebake and bake again, and do not be tired of baking. The sylphs of the air will animate the flames of thought. The gnomes will transmute the lead of your passions into the gold of the spirit, and the undines, which are sometimes passionate, will joyfully move within the raw matter or universal sperm. Therefore, the creatures of fire, air, water, and earth cannot be absent from the great work. We cannot transmute the lead into gold without the creatures of the four elements. The gnomes will not transmute lead into gold without water and without undines. The water and the undines must be fecundated and warmed by the burning fire of the salamanders. This is how it is possible to evaporate the waters and to transmute the lead of personality into the very pure gold of the spirit. The alchemist becomes disappointed and his great work fails without the mystic action of the sylphs. These creatures of the four elements are within ourselves here and now. Every master of metallic transmutations edifies the heavenly Jerusalem. And the city leath foursquare, and the length is as large as the breadth. It is impossible to edify the new Jerusalem without the holy four. Iod is the man, he is the woman, Vau is the phallus, he is the vulva. All ineffable things are written with the holy name of the Eternal One. These four creatures were constantly moving back and forth. These four sacred letters are moving and combining in the whole of creation. And he measured the wall thereof 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, that is, of the angel. 144 is equal to 1 plus 4 plus 4 is equal to 9. This is the ninth sphere, the sex. There is the need to descend into the ninth sphere, sex, in order to work with the fire and the water, which is the origin of worlds, beasts, human beings, and gods. Every authentic white initiation starts here. All of those who incarnated the Lamb, for example, Hermes, Jesus, Krishna, Rama, Buddha, Dante, Pythagoras, etc., descended into the ninth sphere. Hilariax 9 said that the descent into the ninth sphere in the ancient mysteries was the maximum ordeal for the supreme dignity of the Hierophant. 9 is the measure of a man who is of the angel, because we remain 9 months within the maternal womb. The Son of Man can only be born within the ninth sphere. Never has it been known that an angel was born without the ninth sphere. Whosoever wants to cut the head of Medusa, the psychological eye, must descend into the ninth sphere. Whosoever wants to incarnate Christ must descend into the ninth sphere. Whosoever wants to dissolve the I must descend into the ninth sphere. The ninth sphere is the sanctum regnum of the divine omnipotence of the third Logos, the Holy Spirit. It is here in the ninth sphere where we find the flaming forge of Vulcan. Every fledgling who works in the great work must support himself on his staff, to light himself with his own lamp, and cover himself with his sacred mantle. Every fledgling must be prudent. If you want to incarnate Christ, you must obtain the characteristics of a lemon. You must flee from lust and from alcohol. You must kill even the most intimate roots of desire. And the building of the wall of it was of jasper, and the city was pure gold, like unto clear glass. To build the wall of the New Jerusalem is only possible with the philosophical stone, the sex. And the city, the internal vehicles of the human being, was pure gold, like unto clear glass. Lions of gold decorated the thrones of the divine kings. The gold symbolizes the sexual fire of the Kundalini. The potable gold, Pentecostal fire, is similar to a liquid, flexible, and malleable glass. This glass is the Christonic semen. The dorsal fires are Pentecostal fires, the fires of the heart are Christic, and in the forehead the rays of the Father flash magnificently. And the foundations of the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the philosophical stone, the second, sapphire, the third, chalcedony, the fourth, an emerald. The fifth, sardonyx, the sixth, sardius, the seventh, chrysolite, the eighth, beryl, the ninth, a topaz, the 10th, a chrysoprasus, the 11th, a jacinth, the 12th, an amethyst. Each one of these stones represents determinate virtues. The sword of justice is adorned with all of these sacred stones. 9 initiations of minor mysteries and 7 great initiations of major mysteries exist. The intimate is the one who receives all of these initiations. The Testament of Wisdom says, before the dawning of the false aurora upon the earth, the ones who survived the hurricane and the tempest were praising the intimate, and the heralds of the aurora appeared unto them. The psychological I does not receive initiations. The human personality does not receive anything. Nonetheless, the I of some initiates becomes filled with pride when saying, I am a master, I have such initiations. Thus, this is how the I believes itself to be an initiate and keeps reincarnating in order to perfect itself, but the I never ever perfects itself. The I only reincarnates in order to satisfy desires. That is all. The experiences of every reincarnation make the I complicated and transforms it into a more perverse I. Evolution is a process of the complication of life. Therefore, we receive these precious stones in the manner that we dissolve the I. The intimate is the one who receives his sacred stones within the superior worlds, as well as rings, chains, ineffable jewels which are adorned with these sacred stones, etc. Any evil action is enough in order to lose certain sacred stones, that is to say, the loss of degrees. An initiate who was forcing his physically ill wife to perform the sexual act was very close to losing a sapphire from his sword. Fortunately, this initiate knew how to obey when he was warned by the White Lodge. The I is memory, a bunch of memories, the dust of centuries. Therefore, we receive degrees and the most precious stones in the manner that we dissolve it. When the dragon of wisdom dissolves the I, then the 10 Sephiroth shine as precious stones in his ineffable, glorious body. First we must decapitate the I with the sword while in the flaming forge of Vulcan. Afterwards, we have to start slowly dying. The I becomes dissolved based on alchemy and a very rigorous comprehension. This is complete revolution. And the 12 gates were 12 pearls, every several gate was of 1 pearl, and the street of the city was pure gold, as it were transparent glass. The pearl is lunar. Sex is lunar. The 12 pearls symbolize the sexual fires of Pentecost which shine in the 12 faculties of the human being. The street of the heavenly Jerusalem is of pure gold as if it were transparent glass. As well, the human Jerusalem has 12 gates, that is to say, 12 vehicles. The Theosophist brethren have studied the septenary of the human being. But every Christified one has 12 bodies, 12 vehicles that are connected to the great reality. 12 energetic spheres exist, a solar humanity lives and unfolds in these 12 energetic spheres. Therefore, the heavenly Jerusalem has 12 gates, in each gate is a pearl, a region, or world. A zodiacal belt with 12 constellations also exists. The New Jerusalem, that is to say, the earth of the future 6th root race, is being gestated within the zodiacal womb. Every evolution starts in Leo and ends in Leo. The street of the city is of pure gold, sacred fire, as if it were flexible, malleable glass, that is to say, Christonic semen. The Pentecostal fire rises from this liquid glass. All of the 12 vehicles of the Christified one gloriously shines within the fire and the light of infinite space. These are the 12 pearls. This is the heavenly Jerusalem. Therefore, each inhabitant of the New Jerusalem will be in themselves a true heavenly Jerusalem. And I saw no temple therein, for the Lord God Almighty, the eternal being, and the Lamb are the temple of it. This verse does not signify that the cosmic temples of internal instruction will cease to exist. The matter is more profound. In the New Jerusalem, the 7 present religions and the 5,000 sects will have no reason for existing, since the Lamb will be incarnated in every human being. This will be the age of Christ. And the city had no need of the physical sun, neither of the physical moon to shine in it. For the glory of God did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth, the initiates, do bring their glory and honor into it. And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night there. And they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations into it. And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth, neither whatsoever worketh abomination, or mocketh a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life.